I am Felicia Harlow, and I am delighted to be here once again. I woke up this morning with praise in my heart and a smile on my face, and that is truly a blessing. So I invite you during these next few moments with me to take the oath, the calm heart oath, to calm your heart and commit to heart care, being empowered, loving yourself, and knowing that all that you are and all that you have to give and receive is needed in this moment. So, welcome once again, everyone. I am Felicia Harlow, and I am your Calm Heart educator and guide. And I am delighted to be of a vessel to the world at this time and to share just some of the things I've learned along the way that perhaps may be supportive to someone that may need to hear this message. So if you know someone out there that really wants to hear the message of calming their heart, what tools, what strategies, what practices or quick tips or engaging things that we can do in the light of all that is occurring, then please invite them over to this page, Energistics Life Development. So today's message is the self inside, the self inside. And, these times that we're in have really caused us to look at some themes, the themes of loss, the theme of death, the theme of change, and the theme of uncertainty. And as we dive into those respective areas, we have reactions. Some of us may respond, and everything else in between. And so as we work through these issues, we have to have some tools, some things that we can turn to, such as our Almighty Creator, to support us in the process. And I today wanted to bring a message to you that has been a message in my heart for many years now. And it was a message that was placed into my heart on behalf of my husband. And he was a poet, an incredible poet that spoke from his heart in his poetry. Greetings, Milani and Noble. Welcome. And so as I share today, I'd love to just touch your heart through his words of a poem that he entitled The Self Inside. Why did I choose this today? I chose this today because this day of Good Friday is a day of reflection, to really go deep inside of ourselves and take time out to reflect on those things that are perhaps coming to a place of death, a place of change, a place of transformation or transmutation. And so this poem, A Self Inside, I believe speaks to that. And I am truly grateful for this blessing that my husband bestowed upon the world through his pen, through his poetry, through his heart, called The Self Inside. So here is the poem entitled The Self Inside. When you're feeling down and hopeless, just look deep down inside. You'll find beneath the layers a self that cannot hide, a self that's full of energy, a self that's bold and strong, a self that is decisive, not fearful to be wrong. When you're feeling overwhelmed from the great demands of life, when you've tried but failed to conquer all the stresses and the strife, again, just look deep down inside and find the self that cannot hide. The self that always says, I can succeed with a helping hand. When you're feeling that you're quite on edge and don't know what to do, when criticism fills the air and it all comes down on you, just breathe in deep and go inside to find the self that cannot hide. The self that takes it all in stride and solves the deed with compromise. And now just exhale slow and sure, remembering it's not always a cure, but confidence and self-esteem can do a lot for the self that dreams of wise and noble deeds, dreams of planting knowledge seeds, dreams of making all things great. Embrace yourself. It's not too late. And so as we take time today to dwell in the self inside, embrace your heart, embrace its message, embrace the love it has to share and give and receive, embrace yourself. It's not too late. So, as we embrace ourselves today, what are you connecting to in this moment? Who are you connecting with in this moment? Thank you, Milani, the self inside. Thank you for that beautiful, beautiful comment. Yes, indeed, it was a beautiful poem that touched my heart. As soon as I heard it, and then when I read it, I just felt it. I felt it in all the cells of my body. And so often, whenever I'm out and about working, facilitating, engaging with others, I'll use that poem, I'll bring that poem out to remind us all, including myself, to return to the self inside. So now let's just take this and embody it in this moment by going to the self inside. So let's go on into our heart, placing our hand over our heart. Okay? And sometimes it's nice to bow to your heart because it is that place of rhythm, that essence of who we are. So we're bowing to the essence of who we are inside of ourselves. And as we bow to our essence, begin to notice how you're breathing as you hold your hands over the essence of who you are, your heart. And you know what's key with the breathing? If you can get to a point in your breathing where you're taking it nice and slow, so nice and slow that you can't even hear yourself breathing, that means it requires self-discipline. If there's a lot of noise in your inhales and exhales, it's like a distraction, a subtle distraction. So see in this moment, if you can fine tune that breathing, placing your self-discipline on your breath, your concentration on your breathing. And as we take a moment to do this, we expand our capacity of our lungs as we engage our abdominal muscles as well. So as you exhale, pull those abdominal muscles back towards your spine, and then allow your inhale to just pop up like a rebirth, a sense of optimism, like you're bouncing back up and controlling the breath.